Okay, today we are going to talk about freeze panes and split panes. So when you have an assignment where you have this data set and you have work to do underneath that, and work to do underneath that, and then work again to do underneath that, we can't really see what we started with clear up here. So there are two ways to kind of hide or to show what you're trying to look at. One of them is to do a, it's actually freeze rows, not freeze pane, but if we go to the view toolbar, I guess it is freeze panes. And we can say we want to freeze the top row in this case. And once we freeze that row stays there. So we know what our instructions are as we go down through our spreadsheet. I'm going to undo that. Another thing that you could do is this is the, it says use the information below, and this is the information below. So using this information, we could also click down here and go to freeze panes. And what this does is wherever your cell is selected, it's going to freeze the column, and it will freeze the rows above too. So now if we scroll down, all of this stuff is frozen. And if we put an A here and scroll to the right, we notice that that first column is frozen as well. And then the other thing obviously is you can just freeze the first column. So if you have, maybe this is the data that you had in the first column, and you freeze the first column, and as you scroll to the right, that column stays there. Okay, so another way to do this is to use what is called a split pane. And a split pane works off of the same idea, also on your view ribbon. If we split, now we can scroll from two different pieces. So I can scroll down here, or I can scroll up here, either one. And so in this case, what I might want to do is scroll up just a little bit. That's the data that I want to keep. So I might split right there, and maybe I need to decrease the size a little bit so I can see better. Okay, so I have one split pane with all the data that I need, and the other split pane to try to do my income statement, so that I can see that this 400,000 links to here, and this 3,000 links to here, and so on. So it's a little bit easier because your data stays static while your work paper can adjust. I'm going to unsplit that, and I'm going to split it again right here. So you don't have to just split there. If we wanted to, we could do that split screen here. And then same thing down here, we could scroll to the right. And then we could see what we'd already done here, and still be working on stuff out further to the right. So that's a freeze pane and a split pane, both kind of useful. Hope you enjoy.